What is up, guys? Welcome back. This is week 6 of our NFL predictions video. This is the long version. Welcome to the stream. I'm your host. Well, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I am your host, the Avatar Wolf. I'm joined today by my broadcast partner, as always.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm here.
And we got some great games to talk about. This is actually the first week of bye weeks as well, so there's going to be 2 games that are missing, which is nice because some teams needed them.
Yeah, for sure.
Another team needs them, but they're playing them next week, so we got to talk about them. Real quickly, before we start talking about these games, I want to mention real quickly that the roughing the passer stuff, there was like 2 or 3 last week that happened. We're not going to mention all that stuff about the referees and stuff like that. I think me and Potter both know that the roughing passer calls were bogus and bullshit. Do you agree with that?
I was happy as shit to see Tom Brady get fucking hit like that. He got up and kicked that dude squaw in his nuts. That shit was pretty funny. I don't know about you, Wolf, but I thought that was hilarious.
I'm saying the penalty itself was not a roughing the passer call.
This pansy ass league that we're in now.
They shouldn't have been roughing the passer calls, especially the one on Derek Carr.
Agreed.
It was hilarious when Brady got sacked. He went trying to low blow the fucking person. I agree, but we're not gonna mention those in the games tonight because, like we said before, we don't really care about the referees getting involved. Like, there's more than just referee excuses if you're gonna lose games.
Speak for yourself. This league is rigged, kid. I could spend a whole 2-hour, 3-hour video about how I feel the NFL's rigged. But that's not a video that we're talking about right here, right now. We're talking about who's gonna win, who's gonna lose.
Let's start off
Monday and Thursday.
Let's start with the Thursday game. We got the Washington Commanders at the Chicago Bears. Oh my God, indeed.
So let's talk about how Ron Rivera tried to take this last loss and blame it on Carson Wentz. Blame it on Carson Wentz when that defense played atrocious as fuck. I don't believe in Ron Rivera at all. After those comments about his quarterback, I know that Alex Smith made some comments towards the comments that Ron Rivera made about his quarterback, blaming Wentz for the loss, when it is really, in actuality, you blame the fucking defense that is atrocious. But as a defensive coach, of course he's not going to blame his defense. His defense is superb. It's Ron Rivera. He's only been to a Super Bowl 1 time, as far as I can remember. In all actuality aside, I think that Washington's been playing great. I just think they're not there yet. Again, it's a lot of what we talk about, Wolf, is the team's just not there yet. So in this situation, we go and we talk about the team that they're facing off against, and the Chicago Bears. It's another team, in my opinion, that's not there yet. But again, both of these teams are making great strides. I don't agree with the fact that Ron Rivera basically fucking threw Carson Wentz under the bussy bus. But, I guess that's what happens there in Washington when you don't want to be blamed yourself, you go and you blame the quarterback. Well, let's see how that fares in this game Thursday night, because as far as I can tell, this past Sunday, Carson Wentz threw for over 300 yards. So how is that a terrible quarterback?
Yeah, over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
2 touchdowns and 1 interception, not 1 interception and 2 touchdowns. Ron Rivera, you stupid fuck. So this is going to be the first of probably many in this episode of Welcome to the First of Pootie's What the Fuck moments.
Let's also talk about Washington, since I want to talk about the quarterback. Look at the opponents they had for the last 4 weeks. Detroit, they lost to. They lost to Philly.
In the NFL this year.
They lost to Dallas and they lost to Tennessee. I mean,
you can't blame just Wentz. It's a team effort going out there, and I think that Rivera made a mistake, and I think that he has his whole team now to answer to. When you blame your guy, your quarterback, the one that you went out and you made a trade for, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you just going to go ahead and blame him? Because originally he was blaming Dwayne Haskins, and then they got rid of Dwayne Haskins, and then, whatever with they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Bucs and whatever, or they went to the playoffs and lost to the Bucs. My apologies. It's been a long day at work. I'm pretty sure I said Super Bowl, but that's not what I meant. They went to the playoffs and lost to the Bucs the one year. And honestly, like, they went and they got Carson Wentz thinking it was going to be the change. And now Rivera's all over again, blaming his quarterback. Going to a team like Washington as a quarterback, I can see why Alex Smith didn't want to stay. I can see why Wentz is kind of weary about even staying. How do you play with a coach like that?
My thing is that, was this why he left Carolina in the first place with Cam Newton?
That's what I'm thinking.
Real quick, let's talk about the Bears real quick, though. Justin Fields last week, probably his best game on his career under his belt against the Vikings. He actually played really well. 21 passes, 15 completions.
And everyone's sitting there yelling at you, oh, tell Potter to stop hyping up Justin Fields. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? Justin Fields played a great game last week. And I guarantee you he'll probably play a good game this week, too.
I'm not gonna say great game yet because it's not over 100 yards. It's not over 1,000. It's not over 300 yards passing and only one touchdown. But it's in the step in the right direction.
250 yards for Justin Fields is a step in the correct direction.
200.
I'll tell you right now, that was a decent game that Fields played this past week. All right?
Yeah, it was. I agree. I'm
not saying he's the greatest thing to happen to Chicago, but everybody that's been yelling at you about what I said about Justin Fields, look at the stats, guys. They've only gotten better and better and better each week. Exactly what I said.
So we're on a very big trend here on Thursday Night Football, and that's the NFL giving us garbage after garbage every week for Thursday games.
Garbage. Yeah, that's Jeff Bezos for you trying to collect.
So who are you taking here, Washington or Chicago?
Jeffrey Bezos. He's the real winner.
He is the real winner.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to take the Bears here.
I was thinking the same thing too. The coach just put Carson Wentz under the bus.
After those comments about Carson Wentz, how much confidence does those players have in their coach?
The only thing that might be a positive for Washington is that Carson Wentz might feel offended. He might want to go out there and show off against the Bears. And also, real quickly, the Bears are 2-3 this season, but they're 2-0 at home right now. Washington's 1-4. They're 0-2 on the road. Give me the Bears over Washington. I think that's an easy pick for me and for Potter. I don't think Washington's actually quite there. I don't think either team is quite there yet to make the playoffs, but I mean, I think that these teams are kind of evenly matched. And we'll see how it goes on Thursday, because we never know what happens on Thursday. Everything changes for Thursday Night Football for some reason. Are you ready for the next game, Potter?
Sure.
The San Francisco 49ers going into Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons.
Now, it's nice to see Jimmy G playing again. But going into Atlanta, I can't see the 49ers losing this game with how mediocre Atlanta's played this year. I don't have much else to say about this game, except for I'm not picking Atlanta. Sorry, Atlanta fans.
So, real quickly, Washington, jeez. San Francisco's on a 2-game winning streak. They just beat the Carolina Panthers last week. The Falcons, big loss against the Buccaneers, but before the Buccaneers game, they had 2 wins. They had a 2-game winning streak with beating Seattle and Cleveland. Sadly, it's Tampa Bay that you're facing, and they actually kept it very close against Tampa until a roughing the passer call happened, and then it kind of ended the game for them. Sadly. I think that this game is mostly San Francisco 49ers game to lose. Like, this, if they lose this game, there's a big, like, what's going on in San Fran moment here. And Atlanta is kind of on a rebuilding stage to where wins like this do not really matter to them. They want to get a better draft pick, but this is just a win, just to show, like, Mariota, just to show that he's probably belongs here. That's what Mariota wants to do here. So, if you're going to go for an upset game, you probably take Atlanta in this game, but I'm going to take the Niners. I don't think this is going to be the upset game this week, but I do think this is going to be a close game.
Sure, I definitely agree with that. I just don't feel Atlanta's, I think Arthur Smith is missing a few pieces for his team, for sure.
But they're on the right direction, is the Falcons.
Mm.
The team that they have should not have 2 wins this season.
Marcus Mariota's only getting older.
All right, up next, we go to the Browns, Cleveland, as the Patriots take on the Cleveland Browns.
Tough loss for the Browns coming off this week. I know that I'm going to just, it's really sad because I'd seen how depressed certain people got about the Browns loss. Because, you got to just sigh at Browns fans, and be upset for them. Because, they have a monster-ass team. But, they're just getting shit on. They're ever since Deshaun Watson came into the fray, they're just getting shit on. I can't say that their level of play was as good as it was last year as the year before. But what I can say is that this team, in my opinion, has definitely declined without, and that's really sad to say because I feel like Baker Mayfield needs them, and the Browns needed Baker Mayfield, and instead they went with bleepy pants, and it's really sad. Because I know how frustrated Browns fans are right now. Because you get there, you get close, and then I was watching the end of the game with the specific Browns fan the other day. Kinda, we were talking about it, and it was sad to see him sad. It really was sad to see him sad.
I know he was more upset about Atlanta because Atlanta was the worst one for him. But
it was.
To lose to the Chargers in a game, I think the Chargers are a good team, first of all. And to keep it close for the Chargers, first of all, is a good thing for the Browns. But to lose on a long field goal and a lot of mistakes by Cleveland.
That long field goal and a lot of mistakes along the way fucked the Browns the other day.
But I'll say this as well. They should never have had the opportunity to go for the field goal because the Chargers coach is kind of a dumb idiot, but we'll talk about the Chargers when we get there. Yeah. The Chargers play this week? Because I'll talk about that real quickly in this game real quickly here if they do not play. Oh, yeah, they do play this week. Okay, so we'll talk about that when we get to the Chargers. Anyways, New England, though, coming off of a big win against the Lions.
The Lions. And it's really sad to see a team like the Lions, who can put up 30-plus points in a game, lose to New England like that. And not only to New England, but their fucking backup quarterback, Zippy Zappy, or whatever the fuck his hippy-dippy name is, fucking motherfucker carved them up. And it was sad to see it. Especially because, living here, it is a different environment and I'll tell you, I say this a lot. It's the same environment as Buffalo, but it's different because these guys are perennial losers. They haven't been to 4 Super Bowls. They haven't been, whatever. They just haven't. And it's really sad when I hear about friends of mine that are going to break their fucking TVs because they're getting the shit kicked out of them by fucking Staffy McBranigan of the fucking Walmart bleachers that fucking, Bill Belichick was walking through one day and he's like, hey, kid, you want to play quarterback? I'll deflate some balls. And he's like, sure. And, it's just... It's hard to see a team that can score, and I'll say it again, that can score 30-plus points on offense, get the shit kicked out of them by the second-string fucking nobody from fucking stringer. Walmart. What the fuck ever, Wolf? Whatever, I could care less if he was pulling the strings out of my fucking... Oh, man, it's just fuck the Patriots. And they're saying this dude's the next Tom Brady. That's what you were saying about your last quarterback who fucking sucks now and can't keep their shit together. Get it together, New England fans. It's over. It's over. Tom Brady's gone. He's never coming back, and there will never be another like him. Period. I don't want to hear Ace come in here and tell me to fuck off. I don't care. This Bailey Zappy motherfucker ain't gonna last, especially if he comes to Buffalo. I guarantee it. Next game.
So you're taking the Browns over the Patriots?
I have to. As much as I know the Browns are going to fuck this up too. I have to take the Patriots.
The Browns have talent.
I have to take the Patriots as much as it hurts me.
You have to. Ooh. So I had a question for you about New England. Is this a quarterback controversy? You go with Billy Zappi, or do you stay with Mac Jones if Mac Jones is actually healthy to play against Cleveland? What's your opinion on this?
It's always been in my opinion that whoever's winning the game plays the game. Same as in Dallas. Whoever's winning the game plays the game. Okay, I don't care if it's Zappy Brannigan or fucking Tom Brady's cousin Bomb Trady, or I don't give a fuck if it's Bill Belichick. Play who has the hot hand, because it's gonna win you the football game. Period.
So I'm actually gonna take the Browns here, because here's my reasoning. The Lions didn't have anyone on defense to stop New England, and New England's offense is ran by
terrible. Yeah, no, fuck that. I'm gonna take the Browns. Yeah, fuck the Patriots. What am I thinking? Why am I thinking that the fucking Browns defense is trash? They're not, but the Lions are. That's something I've said all season long. The only one I like from the Lions is fucking the kid from Michigan,
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, and he can't stop them all the time.
Aiden Hutchinson is going to be something special for the Lions, but we're only saying this about the Lions because they're on bye week. That's why they're not going to be really talking that much about them. But for New England against the Browns, I think the Browns have a better defense than the Lions do. Bailey Zappi is going to have to actually do something if he's going to be playing. If it's Mac Jones, I don't think Mac Jones is actually going to be quite there to play. Fully healthy. You get what I mean? I don't know if he's going to be healthy.
So I'm not going to take him. Is that this guy's real name, Bailey Zappi? Are you fucking serious?
That's his fucking real name. Bailey Zappi.
In what Costco or Walmart did Belichick find this one?
I would be saying his last name wrong, but Zappe.
Zape.
Zap. I'm calling it Zappy just to be fun with it, but you get my point.
And zip some interceptions, motherfucker.
Zip some interceptions. He has not yet, actually, shockingly.
Yeah, wait till he plays against a healthy Buffalo secondary.
Wait till he takes on the Cleveland Browns. We'll see how he does against Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland over New England.
Oh my god, he's gonna get robbed.
All right.
I didn't know you were in the bathroom.
All right. Up next, we got Green Bay. And Green Bay taking on the New York Jets.
The Jets beat the ever-living piss out of the Dolphins. And you know what? It actually made me happy, because now Dolphins fans can shut the fuck up. But the problem is now Jets fans are starting to talk. So, it's only a matter of time before they fuck this up too, Jets fans. Don't get yourselves all in a fucking hip over this. All right? You guys beat a really weak Dolphins team. A Dolphins team that relied on its offense, and the main parts of its offense are gone. Two of them that could run that offense. Gone.
We'll talk about that when we get to the game.
I know. But Jets fans, don't get yourselves too high right now, because this ain't Madden. Ace ain't gonna save you. All right, fucking Buzzy and all those fucking pieces of shit aren't gonna save you. This is real life, and in real life, the Jets fucking suck. Always have and always will. As long as my team's in this division, y'all keep winning all the games you want. Who really gives a shit? Because when it comes down to it, you'll never, ever beat Buffalo. And if you do, I'll bow my motherfucking hat and say I was wrong. But I'm telling you, I'm never wrong. Ask Wolf. Maybe, and I'll be nice and say 15% of the time I am wrong. And I admit it. I go right to admitting it. But Jets fans, don't for a second think that this game is going to be easy like it was the Dolphins game. Not at all. This team's going to push, and push hard.
Here's the problem with this. This Packers offense, I don't know what is wrong with them. I don't know if it's Rodgers trying to make something out of no receivers, or this, that, and the other. But the Packers have looked like absolute shit this season, And this is the right time to be taking on Green Bay if you're New York Jets. Now, the Jets are not a team that I'm actually scared of as a Buffalo Bill fan. But I will give the Jets credit where credit's due. They can beat teams in this season. They've done it.
Yeah. But honestly, here's the thing. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm telling you guys this. I'm not losing to the fucking Jets. I'm not losing to the fucking Jets. I might not have any receivers, but I'm losing to the fucking Jets. I hear that Green Bay is one of the landing spots for OBJ. Do you think that they can make this deal happen before the end of the week?
No,
it would. And even if they did, he wouldn't play.
I think OBJ already has a spot situated and figured out. I think he is actually going to Buffalo, but we'll talk about that when we get to the Buffalo game. I'm not saying that as a. I'm not saying that as a biased fan, by the way.
There's something else about Buffalo that I want to talk about too.
We'll talk about that when we get to the game.
I'd rather have that than OBJ.
You might get both.
But we'll get to there when we get there. If you haven't said it, don't say it.
But anyways, this is going to be a game interesting to me because if the Jets want to be a legit contender this year, if they can keep up with the Green Bay Packers and not lose to them like embarrassing fashion, the Jets might actually take second place or third place in the division and take over Miami or New England's spot.
And they already have.
So if the Jets can actually keep up with Green Bay, I'll take the Jets as a more legit contender than the actual laughingstock they've been for the past few years.
I honestly would take them a lot more seriously when it comes down to pick'ems, and I would not be picking Green Bay right now. But I'm going to pick Green Bay because I'm not betting against Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers either. Aaron Rodgers came off an embarrassing loss to the New York Giants.
I will say this, Jets fans. If they can beat Green Bay, I will seriously consider rethinking about how the Jets are and honestly considering them. But right now, like, it is up in the, like, yeah, they're second in the AFC East. That's great. That's all well and good. But until they go up against the Patriots or the Bills again, that doesn't not mean a goddamn thing to me. That they are not the most dominant team in the AFC East. I don't even feel like they're in the top 10 dominant teams in the AFC. Period.
They're not.
Not at all. I don't even think they're in the top fucking 15, and that's sad. Considering there's only 15 teams, I think they're bottom tier. They're 100% at the bottom of the list.
Going from number 32 to 25 is an improvement.
Yeah, and power rankings, yeah, that's great. Like, I can make rankings all day long about how I think the team's going to be all week long. But when it comes down to crunch time, in my opinion, and this is how my opinion's always been about them, they have in the last, I just don't think against a huge team. Like, that was the Dolphins, dude. Okay, yeah, the Dolphins had a hot start, and that's great. But how long was that going to last realistically? Come on. It's the Dolphins. All right, and I know what you're gonna say, Potter. NFL changes. It's not a season to season basis anymore. It's not even a week to week basis anymore. It is a game to game basis, and I get that. But seriously, do you guys think that from the dumpster fire that both of these teams have been, do you really think that they were gonna beat the Patriots and the Bills? Like. Dude, I never thought that.
They have a legit shot at beating the Patriots this year.
Yeah, it's because they're a dumpster fire themselves. The whole AFC East, in my opinion, is a dumpster fire, with the exception of the Bills. Obviously, the Bills once were a part of that dumpster fire, and they have come out of it, but it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before we're right back in it. So let's enjoy these years while we have them.
All right, so I'm
going to take the Packers.
We're both taking the Packers. Again, like I said before, Aaron Rodgers came off an embarrassing loss to the Giants. He's going to want redemption, and this is going to be a perfect chance for him to do so. The Jets...
Especially to a New York team. Like, regardless if they're in New Jersey, like, Rodgers doesn't give a shit about that. He's going to piss off the same New York fans he pissed off last week.
But here's the thing: Jets, you keep it close with the Green Bay Packers, might have to start taking you seriously. That's all I'm gonna say. Do you agree with that?
I agree.
All right. Up next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, good lordy wardy. What do we have here? A
Jonathan-
dumpster fire game? Is this our
Jonathan
first
Taylor
dumpster
still has
fire
not
game of the
practiced
week?
yet. Our second one. Washington Bears were one. But this,
I
my God.
I talked a lot about the first one. Go ahead and talk about this one. I'll weigh in my comments.
Jacksonville looked really good until last week, losing to the Houston somehow, some way. Trevor Lawrence turned into what he was last season. 286 yards passing, 2 interceptions. Not the best season, not the best week for Trevor Lawrence. Davis Mills beat the fucking Jaguars. But the Colts had probably the most ugliest win of the season that I've ever seen in my life, beating the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. We gotta watch the Broncos again on a freaking primetime game, by the way. That's gonna be just glorious.
You gotta love your man, Nasty Nate.
Nasty Nate, definitely. Matt Ryan does not have it anymore.
I mean, it might not be Ryan. Again, you can't blame the quarterback. It is a team play. It could be guards that aren't protecting him right. But you could see it. There's a digression in Ryan's play, for sure. But you can't say he doesn't have it.
I want to look and see how many sacks he has this season. So far, of his last 5 games.
Can't have it if you never got it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like Matt Ryan's ever had a legit chance. I feel like if Matt Ryan was put in the same predicament Tom Brady was, where he could go immediately to a Super Bowl contending team and not the fucking Indianapolis Colts, I'm just saying, how different would it be if Matt Ryan got traded, let's throw this out there, and let's say to the Buffalo Bills, or to the Rams, or to a team that I feel is a playoff bound, that could be a playoff bound team. Not so much the Rams, but you know what I'm saying? Someone that has a stack of talent. What does the Indianapolis Colts have? Nothing. Who notable on offense except their running back?
Okay, to be fair, when he got traded this season, off-season, we heard all about how great this offensive line was going to be for Indianapolis. And it's come out and been a total train wreck since then. The offensive line can't get any stops on defenders to save their lives. They're letting Matt Ryan get killed in the backfield, basically. And that's been one reason Matt Ryan has been actually having a bad game. Now, the Jaguars have been streaky this season, if you might well say that. One week they'll be the best team in the division. Next week they look like a dumpster fire. So which one are we gonna get from the Jacksonville Jaguars?
That's flashes of a team, in my opinion, that's going to be on the right side of 500 within the next year or two. On the correct side of 500.
Last time these two teams played, Jacksonville won 24-0. Give me Jacksonville and keep their cat streak alive here. They're gonna bounce back off their 2 losses. They're taking on a Colts team that really not showing anything that much. And the Jaguars have the Colts numbers somewhat this for the last few years. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Colts. Potter, who are you taking?
Agreed. Jags over the Colts.
It's hard to talk about the Colts because they're supposed to be such a greater team with Jonathan Taylor, and this offensive line supposed to be really good, but the offensive line hasn't showed up this season yet. However, there is one thing that I'll say about the Colts is that they get better during the season, and we'll see if that actually comes true coming up.
Is it too little too late?
We've always said that. Every year, they started off 1-5 last season, and they somehow almost made the playoffs.
Yeah, almost is not good enough for me.
Up next, we got the Minnesota. we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Miami Dolphins.
Another third string quarterback to talk shit about. Jesus Christ.
Skylar Thompson.
My goodness. So I do want to talk something. I do want to talk about something that's related to the Vikings. So do you know that Dalvin Cook and James Cook are brothers?
Yes.
And they both scored a touchdown this past Sunday. They both did. And it was kind of cool to read about that because Dalvin's proud of his little brother. Yes, I'm going to talk more about the other Cook, but Dalvin Cook, amazing game he had this past week. He is a heart, in my opinion, he is the heart and soul of that football team. I don't even feel like Kirk Cousins matters. I feel like anybody throwing the ball could be great as long as they have someone like Dalvin Cook. He is a playmaker. I'll tell you, there's something special about that kid. Ever since he came out, I loved him in college too. You know, it's really tough. This game right here is going to be really hard to talk about because both of these teams are awesome. Like, in my opinion, like the Vikings lead their division. You know, like, it's hard to say, Wolf. It's really hard. The fire that both of these teams have.
So right now, I believe Tyreek Hill was actually on a walking boot last week after the Jets game.
After the Jets game, I believe he was, which means that's another piece of their offense that they're going to be missing out on.
Now, they're saying that he's not going to affect him and he's going to play against the Vikings, but it just makes me wonder.
Just like they played too, right? Look what happened there.
That's what I was getting to. Tua is actually practicing as well this week. He practiced actually on Wednesday.
That's what happens when you hire a proctologist as a doctor.
But third string quarterback going against the Vikings. The Vikings have so much talent on offense. Not just Dalvin Cook, but you also have Adam Thielen. You also have Justin Jefferson. Like, it's hard to freaking not succeed as quarterback.
I didn't want to take anything away from those guys, but Dalvin Cook is just he's been there the longest. You know, he is the heart and soul of that team. I imagine when they're doing their pregame workouts and whatever, he's the guy that all these guys are talking to about the way, you know, he is one of those team leaders that this team looks at. The rest of these guys on this team, like, what would Dalvin do? You know what I'm saying? And he's pumping right now, man.
All right, so who are you taking here, Miami or Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, easily. I'm taking Minnesota as well. Third string quarterback for freaking McDaniels and, you know, McDaniels. Let's see what you can do with a third string quarterback, buddy. We seen what happened last week. Let's see if you can actually rebound off of that.
Do we know the kid's name?
Skylar Thompson.
Oh, yeah. Why does that sound like a wrestler I've wrestled before and fucking whatever?
I don't.
I'm having like a vivid fucking like deja vu. Like, I've fucking heard that name before. Like, and it's really fucking with me. But we can move on to the next game while I sit here and fucking be stoned and think about that for a second.
All right, up next we go to New Orleans as the Cincinnati Bengals take on the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, I know why that name made an impression on me. It's Skylar Gray. I don't know if you know who that is.
Skylar Gray, isn't that a wrestler?
Like, he was around for like yeah. I think you know who he is.
Yeah. Anyways, right. Since Bengals and Saints.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to let you talk about this because I didn't watch either one of their games.
All right, so let's talk about it. Zach Taylor. Oh boy. Last season, your high-end talent saved your ass half the time for coaching that they made stuff actually work. I don't know what the hell you're doing this season, though, Taylor, to be honest with you. This is a bad head coach for the Bengals, and it's showing right now. They lost a close game to the Baltimore Ravens 19-17. I believe there was some controversy in this game that Taylor should did something to change the game, but he didn't. I believe he went for it on 4th and 1 or something like that. But take that as you will. The Bengals are in a bad spot right now. You got the Saints coming in. The Saints. You're going into New Orleans taking on the Saints. I don't even know who the starting quarterback is for the Saints right now. I do apologize. Let me look that up real quickly. I don't want to say the wrong name in case it's Winston. It might be Andy Dalton, but Winston's questionable play. Taysom Hill's questionable play as well. Man, this should be a game the Bengals should easily win against the Saints, Potter.
I agree. It should be, but that O-line is fucking horrendous.
The
How many
O-line's
times is Burrow
horrendous.
going to get snapped?
Cameron Jordan's going to have a field day against Burrow probably, and if that happens, that might be the reason the Saints beat the Bengals this week.
That's why I didn't even want to talk about this game, man. Like, what do you say to that? Like, what do you say about that? You know, fucking Joe Burrow is a sack magnet. One of the highest sacked quarterbacks in the last year. He was the highest sacked quarterback. I believe he was sacked 38 times. But I want to say it was more than that. But I want to say 38 so I don't sound like an absolute fucking dipshit.
Let's find out how much they actually got sacked last season.
See, Wolf, I didn't say a bad word. I said dipshit instead of the word I wanted to say.
I still think you can't say that on YouTube, but we'll let it slide for right now.
Dipshit?
I believe it's offensive to somebody.
What? Okay.
You know how YouTube is. He got sacked 51 times last season.
Oh, okay, so it's more than 38 times, so I didn't sound like an absolute idiot. Okay. How many times has he been sacked this year?
18.
God damn. Well on his way. On his way.
He's going to break his own record.
Game. This is a tough game, Wolf. This is really tough. Because, like, it could go one way if Cam Jordan decides to light it up.
My question is, who do the Saints have an offense to really like make a impact on offense against this Bengals defense?
I mean, honestly, throwing the ball is not, in my opinion, running the ball is not the problem. It's can what's the name stay healthy? Can Jameis Winston stay healthy enough to throw the ball to the now coming off injury Michael Thomas?
Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, and they have Jaguars Landry.
Coming back from injury. Yes, I did read that this morning. Michael Thomas is coming back from injury.
I didn't know they had Jarvis Landry on the team too. Interesting.
They do. They have Juice Landry and they have Mike Williams. So throwing the ball to those guys, you know, it shouldn't be hard for Jameis Winston. Like, I don't see the Saints losing this game. I honestly, like, unless the offense can't produce anything, I'm going to take the Saints.
I'm just going to search up something real quick. I just want to make sure Mike Williams is actually on the Saints because he's not on here. He's still on the Chargers.
Maybe I read the dude's name wrong.
Chris Olave is on the Saints as a rookie, and he's actually doing really well, but he took a concussion last week after getting piled to the ground.
What's his name is back?
Yeah, Michael Thomas is definitely back. Jarvis Landry's in there too. You have good receivers in New Orleans. You just need to actually have a quarterback healthy.
You got to start the running game. You got to start handing the ball.
Yeah, hand off the ball. They were actually handing the ball a lot more to Taysom Hill last week, I believe, as well. Taysom Hill actually is their leading runner this season.
Game with him.
And he's their leading rusher this season.
So I'm not going to, you know what? I'm not even going to fuck around. I'm going to take the Saints.
All right, I'm going to take the Bengals. Let's have some difference here because we've been taking all the same teams lately, it seems like. I'm going to take the Bengals. I think Burrow can get the job done against the Saints. It all depends on Cameron Jordan on that defensive side, though. If Cameron Jordan goes off and he starts sacking Burrow, this game's over.
Which I think is really going to happen.
There is a strong possibility it's going to happen. The Burrow can't stay on the, like, if he gets sacked too many times, the Bengals are done for in this game. And plus, Zach Taylor's not a good head coach either, in my opinion, as well. Who even is the Saints head coach right now after they lost Taylor?
Saints head coach?
Yes.
I do not know.
Well, let me just search it up real quick. I just want to see who they actually have coaching right now under that new Saints regime here. It is Dennis Allen.
Whoever that is.
He was a head coach for the Raiders in 2012 to 2014. Okay, give me the Bengals. I don't know who I don't know him that well, but he was 2012 to 2014, only 2 year stint in Oakland when they're the Oakland Raiders. That doesn't sound good to me. So, anyways, up next we got the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants.
The Ravens, in my opinion, need to win this game. But I don't think they can do it. This Giants team just is on a whole nother level. Like, this is reminding me of, like, the first year of Eli Manning. Like, where he was good. Like, it's just coming together there. And nobody could coach this team better than Brian Dabois. I just feel like he's done an amazing job of changing this team around. What were they, Wolf, last year? 4-12?
Yeah, 4-12, I believe, was their record last season.
So going from 4-12, like, I know the season's not over yet, but they're having a damn good season, man.
They've already did better. A win tonight, a win this week will be better than what they did last season if they did go 4-12 last season.
At this point, yep.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they started that season 2-5.
I'm just making sure real quick that I'm right about the record. It is 4-13. They went 4-13 because of the 18-game system.
Yeah, I keep forgetting there's an 18th game now.
It's weird. It's very weird. But they're 4-1 right now. They just came off the biggest win of their season, beating Green Bay.
But my point being is that I think you can agree with me, and you have, that this Giants team is just on another level, man.
And it's not even the roster at this point. I just think they're well coached. They're a well coached team.
They're invigorated by this coach, man. It was the same invigoration that gave Buffalo its life. So I'm happy to see it happen to a team, in my opinion, that deserves it. Like, the Giants have always been a team where I've been like, But now, when I think about the Giants, I'm like, oh, shit, they could be a real like, we could potentially see them. It would be cool to have another Bills Giants Super Bowl. I'm just saying, Dubois versus McDermott, that'd be a good game. Like, you can't, like, as a Buffalo fan, you can't not, like, think about that and be like, I really hope the Giants do well. And I do, especially if they're not in the AFC. That's the best thing. I can love the Giants.
It's probably coming next season because I believe the Bills, the AFC East and NFC East actually play each other next season.
And so I'm assuming you won't have to play a game against them, and that would be nice.
And I believe you have to play them in New York or in I don't remember the last time they played against each other. But whoever actually was at home that 1 week has to go away. That, you know, the last time the Giants and Bills played each other, whoever was at home for that game, it now switches when it comes in that format.
Can you tell me the last 3 years records of the Giants?
The last 3 years, I can get that for you.
Correct.
So we know last season it was 4-13.
4-13.
2020, their record was 6-10. 2019, it was 4-12.
So not much of an improvement. Like, okay, so as a Giants fan, looking at that, I'm like, fuck yeah, this is great. Like, this is awesome. Like, I feel like this is like and you know, it's nice. Like, because to be perfectly honest with you, like, when Dubois was leaving, I was kind of upset. But I knew whatever team he went to, he was going to make an impact almost immediately. And that's the type of special coach that he is, that Buffalo was so appreciative of when he was here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is something special, and he just brings it. Like you, even in college, like you see the way that he coached Alabama, and like he was just something special, and you could just see it. Like, and there's a lot of coaches like that where they're really good, and we've seen that in college. Chip Kelly, and fucking Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Both those shit bags came from college, and then shit the bed in the NFL. But then we've seen coaches like Dubois that have come over almost seamlessly, like it was nothing.
So the good thing about DeBall is that he actually coached Alabama as a coordinator instead of an actual head coach. So he came into the NFL as a coordinator, and I think if Urban Meyer came into the NFL as a coordinator instead of head coach for his first season,
Why did I think that he was their head coach?
Urban, who was their head coach for Alabama for so many years? I can't think of his name. He was under Nick Saban. Because Nick Saban's been there for so long.
And well, Nick Saban now is somewhere else, though, isn't he not?
Let me check. He is still Alabama. 2022, Alabama. He's been in Alabama since 2007.
Sounds about right.
So he was under Nick Saban, then he went to the NFL, came under Belichick, I believe, at 1.2. Also was under.
About coaches like that do that. Like, it's just nice to see. Like, I wish him well in all of his future, but as long as it doesn't come up against Buffalo, because when it comes up against Buffalo, fuck you.
The Ravens.
I don't like them. I just think that team is not what they think they are. They have the weird up and down games like the Jaguars do. I would still call them mediocre. I wouldn't say that Lamar Jackson is a game changer at all in any way, shape, or form. People try to compare him all the time because he came out of the same draft as like Josh Allen. He is nothing like that. Like, I'm so glad we passed up on that guy. Like, oh, like he runs well, but like his throwing mechanics have only really come into fruition this year, and it's taken that long. Like to the point to where they don't even know if they want to like renew his contract. Like that says something. Like
well,
when a team
this season Lamar's carrying this team by himself, let's be honest here. He's trying his best.
Trying his best because he wants a contract.
It's so hard to say with the Ravens because right now people are talking about John Harbaugh in a bad light this season. They don't think he's actually a good head coach right now this season. And I can understand that because of what he did against Buffalo about not taking the field goal and going for it on fourth down. I understand, like, you know, that way of thinking. At the same time, though, that Buffalo offense was not going to get stopped at all against the Ravens. And I think if they scored a field goal, Buffalo's just going down there and scoring a touchdown anyways and winning the game that way. So with the Ravens, there's such a mixed bag. It depends on who they play against. And the Giants, it's such a tough game here as the Ravens and Giants this week.
I'm taking the Giants.
I got to take the Giants. And that's an upset, actually, according to Vegas. They're +6, actually, somehow.
Not according. You know what? You know what you can bet on, ladies and gentlemen, that's cheaper than Vegas? You can bet on Potter because, again, 85% of the time, I'm fucking right. And I'll tell you right now, the New York Giants are going to win this weekend. There's something brewing in New York, and I like it. It scares me, but I like it.
Okay, up next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett.
They're going to get killed. Kenny Pickett got murdered by Buffalo. They just threw him to him, too. Like, it was bad. Like, with the amount of losses that we had on defense, he still got torn the fuck up. Is he going to have a better game against Tampa Bay? Absolutely fucking not. In my opinion, Tampa Bay has a less injury-riddled team. I think Tampa Bay is going to steamroll right through this Steelers team that should right now be considering themselves in crisis mode.
So if you're the Steelers and you get the first round pick in the draft, do you draft a quarterback or do you save Kenny Pickett?
I think, listen, I've always been to the rule to where you give quarterbacks at least 3 or 4 years time to develop. You really don't start to see flashes of a quarterback. I mean, you could in year 1, but it's more common for it to happen in year 2. You know what I'm saying? I've always been one to let a rookie sit, maybe play a little bit when the points are good enough. You know what I mean? But in those situations, like, you don't go and you replace Kenny Pickett right away. Like, what does that tell your team?
Well, we've seen
You know
teams
what I'm
do it, like
saying?
Arizona doing it with Kyler Murray and Josh Rosen.
Yeah, no, I've seen that too. That happen too. And look at how it's affected Josh Rosen as a player.
Yeah, he's
They
never been
didn't
the
even
same
give him a
since.
chance.
He's never had a
You
chance
know
in
what
the
I mean?
NFL.
No. And in my opinion, that Arizona team is trash. I think Kyler Murray's is way better than Josh Rosen. But I think Kyler Murray suffers the same fate as Josh Rosen in this moment because that team is just not there. But that's another talk for a different game. We're talking right now about the shite storm that's going on.
So the Steelers, I mean, Kenny Pickett had flashes versus the Bills defense, but it wasn't like
No,
far in
yeah, he had
between.
flashes, but honestly, like, I feel like this team should be in crisis mode. They're not winning games. They're missing key elements to their team, in my opinion. I just no.
The Steelers have not won a game without TJ Watt on their lineup. Let's see if TJ Watt's actually like able to play this week. He's still on injured reserves. Man, I don't know if the Steelers, man. Just give me the Bucks. I don't think it's even gonna be much of a contest. I just think the
Yeah,
Steelers are about to get their ass kicked.
yeah, unfortunately.
Mike Tomlin's gonna suffer his first ever losing season this year.
And that could put him in the hot seat, bro.
It could possibly. He got inherited
They're
a
already
great
talking
roster.
about it. They're already talking about it with Mike Tomlin without Ben Roethlisberger. Is he losing his touch? And I think that he suffers the same fate right now as Bill Belichick. He lost his guy, and
Oh, I thought you
he
were about to say
runs
Belichick's on the hot seat.
no, he runs a specific system, and, like, I mean, Trubisky. Eh, we all knew that wasn't going to work out. We all knew
Just
he was a bridge ticket. We
Steelers,
all,
get rid of Matt Canada.
yeah, they definitely need a better offensive. At least they don't have Nathaniel Hackett.
Up next, speaking of coaches that got fired, the Carolina Panthers at the Los Angeles Rams. Matt Rule getting fired. Who's replacing Matt Rule? Who's the interim coach for the Panthers? Head coach. Steve Wilkes will serve as the team's interim head coach. Does it matter who the head coach is for the Carolina Panthers? Probably not, because they're going to lose anyways, regardless. But I just like knowing who's actually coaching. Okay. What do you say about this game? The Rams against the Panthers. What are you thinking? Potter? Okay, I think we lost our my co-host. But I'll talk real quickly about the Rams and the Panthers
First round
here.
pick.
Oh,
I really highly doubt it. I firmly believe that we'll be getting rid of our second round draft pick, maybe a third. I for sure see a fifth as well. The Bills feel like being saucy.
what are we talking about?
Christian McCaffrey getting traded to the Buffalo Bills. The reason why they linked him is because of his ties with Brandon Bean. Bean drafted him in 2017 or 2016, the year before he left to the Bills. I think that McCaffrey would be a great addition to our running back core. We definitely need the help. I've been saying it for 2 years. I don't like Devin Singletary at all. I like Zach Moss, but I don't like Singletary. I like the new kid Cook. For sure, I like Cook. But I want to talk about Christian McCaffrey. I want to talk about what Wolf thinks that McCaffrey's worth. And where do you think he'll end up?
Oh boy.
This is on the if prediction if they deal him away. Again, McCaffrey's contract's high, and normally with a rebuilding team that's in crisis mode, they get rid of, they're trying to get draft picks. If Buffalo and them seem to have that relationship, that general relationship to where they can work it out.
So with McCaffrey, the problem with McCaffrey is he's injury prone, and if he gets injured during the season, he's out for the season, and that's the problem with McCaffrey. Does Buffalo, how much do they risk to actually give Carolina if they want to get McCaffrey? I'd go as low as a 3rd round draft pick.
You say 3rd? I'm not gonna say that's low ball, but that's low ball.
I just don't think that you don't give him the house because of the reason that he is injury prone. If you get him and then in the first game he plays for the Buffalo Bills, he gets injured, he's out for the season, then what happens after that?
Good point.
So if you're going to go after a running back, I think Buffalo, and I really believe this, you want to go after someone like Saquon Barkley, who's going off this season. You want the actual Giants to kind of go on a losing streak lately and start losing their momentum, so they actually trade away a once-in-a-generational talent like Saquon Barkley is. Because the difference between Barkley and McCaffrey is that Barkley, when he's actually in the game and fully healthy, he's an explosive compared to McCaffrey.
But Saquon Barkley is not linked to coming here or has ever been talked about wanting a trade.
However, the Bills and Giants are linked because of the ball and their new GM.
Right. But that's not what I'm saying. Joe Schuin or whatever his name is. What I'm saying is that McCaffrey's they're already talking about that because that's what they're like. There's been no talks about Saquon. I know what you're saying, but I'm talking in realistic, McCaffrey's going to go somewhere. And I know the Bills have been on that list. I know the Broncos are on that list. I know a couple teams are on that list that are points of interest.
So if you're the Carolina Panthers and you're trading off McCaffrey, the thing is that you have to, your GM spot is on the hot seat right now if you're Carolina.
Well, yeah, and I'm also trying to make moves for the future to try to save my job.
So you're going to want to actually take something high.
Letting injury-prone McCaffrey go to GM that actually wants to utilize him, and even for a 3rd-round draft pick, if Buffalo's ballsy enough to give a 2nd, I think that's a great deal. A 3rd and a 5th, I think that's a great deal for Christian McCaffrey. If you're Carolina, even if you're Buffalo, because you definitely could use the running back route, help right now. And, Bean knows him, and it sounds like Bean wants him. So, I mean, and as a Buffalo fan, not even just talking as an analyst, I feel like you have to trust the process. I mean, he could completely change the way he plays because the way that he's protected here compared to the way that he's protected in Carolina is going to be a big difference, Wolf. And you as well as I know that.
With Buffalo, I'm going to wait until the Kansas City game to talk about that real quickly. We're on the Panthers and Rams right now. I'm taking the Rams over the Panthers. The Panthers are in crisis mode. They're just going to start releasing talent, just like Pyre just mentioned with McCaffrey. So give me the Rams.
Yep. Even though the Rams have kind of shit the bed lately, I'm still taking them.
They shit the bed lately, and they're a bad team, I think, in my opinion. But they still should be able to beat Carolina. They're not in like crisis waters yet, like Carolina is.
I think Matt Stafford got the only Super Bowl that he was ever going to get.
Anyways, let's get through this game here so we can actually talk about that more in depth. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. You said you had a lot to say about Arizona, so
I do. I want to know what's going on. Like they just like from a team that showed so much flash, they made a lot of good roster moves. Like what is going on there? And this is going to be part 2 of probably another part of Pootie's what the fuck? What the fuck, Arizona? What the fuck is going on? You have, in my opinion, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL, in Kyler Murray. The protection for him is not great. And again, I'm going to mention it like Josh Rosen before him. Like, some protection for him would be nice. You can bolster your defense all you want, but as long as this kid's getting hit and beat on like that, it's never going to work. Ever.
The problem with Kyler Murray is that
so much talent on Arizona team too. If he was just able to get some protection, and I know what you're going to say. The problem with him is he's not able to really make a split-second decision or whatever the fuck.
The problem is that when Call of Duty has double XP weekend, he shits the bed during Sunday games. He's 3 for 43 when Call of Duty actually has double XP weekend.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of his problem, and yeah. Is there a double XP weekend coming up? Is that what you're telling me?
It was last week. I don't know about this week. I know Call of Duty starting to do that more often now because they have a new Call of Duty coming out soon. And once new Call of Duty comes out soon, I guarantee you, Kyler Murray's going right down. He's skydiving down once that Call of Duty comes out. That's how it always is with his season. He has really good season. He starts off really strong, and then when Call of Duty comes out, it sky plummets. It's bad. Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith. When did he become Russell Wilson?
The second they traded Russell Wilson.
I'm impressed. I can't say
that like you know how in Space Jam where they had the ball and like if you touch the ball you'd lose your powers or whatever. Yes. I think that's what happened. Like on the last day that Russ was there, he's like, "Hey man, have a good year," and he like hands him the ball and like all of a sudden like all fucking Russell Wilson's superpowers. Because I'm telling you, Russell Wilson looks like fucking Geno Smith on the Jets. It's bad.
I don't know what the hell happened with those two, and we'll talk about the Broncos when the Monday night game.
I'm telling you, it's Freaky Friday, bro. It's Freaky Friday.
It might be because Geno Smith is on a roll right now. He has over 1,000 yards passing. Just imagine if Geno Smith was actually on the Jets. I am thankful he was not on the Jets doing this. Okay.
Agreed.
I actually don't mind Geno Smith. I thought Geno Smith actually had a bad outing for the Jet when he was on New York. But then,
obviously, every quarterback does because it's New York. The market there is terrible for quarterbacks.
True. Man, who are you taking this game? The Seahawks or the Cardinals?
I mean, honestly, I wanna take the Cardinals.
Let me search it up. Call of Duty double XP weekend. Call of Duty double XP weekend. Kyler Murray.
Oh my God, we're gonna base this pick off that.
I mean, it's legit serious though. He's only won 3 games when this has actually happened. Murray under center has post record.
What?
Oh, what? Hold on, let me read this. So his passer rating plummets from the 90s, upper 90s, into the 80s when it happens. while the win percentage actually plummets as well. On normal weekends with Murray under center, the Cardinals have posted a record of going 18, 16, and 1. On double XP weekend, they are 4 and 7. And this was made back in this was made in August.
Wow.
Like that's bad. I don't know if there's a double XP weekend was last week. Cardinals I don't think there's a double XP weekend this week, but I don't know for sure. I think Geno Smith is on a roll though. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks. But I'm just wondering if Geno Smith's going to actually calm down like Russell Wilson does halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Who are you taking, Potter?
Cardinals.
Taking the Cardinals? You just trust in Kyler Murray to get the job done?
I want them to win so I can just say ha ha to smooth.
Fair enough. Up next we have the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, let's talk more about this McCaffrey trade.
So here's my impression about the Bills' offensive problems, is that it hasn't been the running backs, it's been just the scheme itself. I don't know if trading for a running back is actually going to change the way they run the ball if the scheme is that trash at running the ball.
We'll never know till we find out.
And I think James Cook is actually a really good running back. And I think Cook could be the next Dalvin Cook for Buffalo.
I really don't think that they're going to trade for McCaffrey. But at that point, I wanted to talk about it because they keep saying that it's a high landing spot because of, what like with him and McDermott and him and, GM fucking, what's his name?
Brandon Beane.
Yeah, Brandon Beane. Yeah. Especially because he drafted him in 2016 before he left in 2017.
So here's the thing about the Buffalo Bills is that, and this is why people like OBJ is still mentioned when talking about the Buffalo Bills getting talent. They want to load up on offensive talent to take out teams like Kansas City. Mostly Kansas City. There's no other team that could actually compete with them besides Kansas City in the regards of offense. You see these teams just loading up on just talent and receivers with their quarterback, and if they have so many receivers to throw to, you can't really do anything to stop that. I mean, you're gonna double team one person, someone's gonna be open. Like double team Diggs, OBJ's open on the other side. So
yeah,
adding McCaffrey to the mix would actually make a good run team. But here's the thing about McCaffrey is that he's more of a passing back as well, and that's more dangerous for Buffalo than it would be with Saquon Barkley. Because they'd be passing a lot more. They wouldn't be running the ball with McCaffrey. They'd be actually passing.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say really about that. If they actually pull the trigger and go for it, then cool. They get talent. But I've seen a lot of people saying they wanted more like DJ Moore than McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about that one. But let's talk about this Bills game against the Chiefs. This is a big rivalry game for both teams. This is probably for the first spot in the AFC in the conference. Let's be honest here.
This is going to be a really good game, but I got to take the Bills.
You both know that we're both taking the Bills. I mean, look, there's the hat to prove it. Bills fan. So we're not going to talk about our predictions here. We're just going to talk about the game in general. I'm going to be as unbiased as I possibly can be for this game. Kansas City is actually coming in as the underdogs on Vegas standards. Mahomes has had a decent season this year. A really good season for Mahomes. 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not bad for Mahomes. The receiving core has been Travis Kelce. I don't see really anyone taking over the Tyreek Hill spot yet. But the Chiefs have so much weapons on offense that Mahomes is just spreading the ball and spreading the wealth around. But the main priority for the Bills defense is going to be having to stop Tyreek Hill or stop Travis Kelce from getting the ball from Mahomes. You have anything to really add about this, Potter?
Not really.
I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I don't see any defense being played in this game. Expect another playoff match like they had last year. If a team gets stopped, it's because the regular season and they're not really trying to score like they were in the playoffs. So I do think it's going to be high scoring. I do think it's going to be a very stressful game for both fans. And it's going to be another classic masterpiece. This is turning Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes is turning into Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning.
It's pretty awesome.
It's very awesome. I enjoy it. I enjoy these games. I actually like it when it's actually stressful, watching like two quarterbacks go after each other and just completely dominate each other. I usually liked watching it when it was Brady versus Manning. I have a lot more stakes in it now that it's Allen versus Mahomes because it's my team, but still, it's still great to see. We're both taking the Bills because we're Bills fans. Kansas City, like, this is just, it's up in the air. It could be anyone's game, honestly, man. So, yeah. Buffalo, we're both taking Buffalo. That's all we got to say about that one. Let's just go to the next game. The Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. We go from a great game to another great game, in my opinion. This is going to be... I'll let you talk about this one, Potter.
Division rivalry. The Eagles are the only team in the NFL to not be defeated. The only undefeated team in the NFL, right?
Yes, the only undefeated team.
So walking into this game, it's huge for Dallas. It's super huge, and they've had a huge couple of weeks. Could Dallas continue that, going in and being the team that finally beats the Eagles?
The Eagles have such an explosive offense. It's probably the best offense in the NFC. They went out, they got AJ Brown, and it's done wonder. Like,
Nick Sirianni has really turned that team around.
He had, and Jalen Hurts looks really good too. But they went out and got some talent around Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is making it work.
That's true. That's true.
It's the same situation as what happened in Buffalo when Buffalo went out and got Stephon Diggs. Man, this is going to be a hell of a game because Dallas Cowboys, they have ineptitude on offense, but one thing that the Dallas Cowboys have in their disposal is they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I truly believe this defense is actually like superb in the league. Micah Parsons is doing his thing. What about Lawrence, who got injured last week? I believe they're both questionable play, Micah Parsons and Lawrence, but they're going to play. Monday Night Football against the division rival in the Eagles, and this is an important game for the division. You know they're going to play.
Right.
Man, who do you take in this game? Do you take the Cowboys or do you take the Eagles?
I gotta take the Cowboys.
You gotta take the Cowboys. You're trusting Cooper Rush then, huh?
Yes, sir.
So Cooper Rush has been undefeated as a Cowboys starting quarterback as well, which again goes to your opinion about you have to keep with the hot hand at quarterback. If he's winning games for you, he's winning games for you.
Absolutely.
Man, I
don't care if your name is Tom Brady, Josh Allen. If, for instance, who so-and-so is playing and playing well, they're staying in until they screw up. When they screw up, then it's time for me to put them back in and be like, oh, okay, see, I fixed it.
Well, Dak Prescott is still out for the foreseeable future. He won't be actually around for this game.
Cooper Rush has been playing great. Dak who?
That's a good point. And it seems like Dallas always does this thing where they get like their quarterback gets injured, and then this other quarterback comes in here and takes over their starting job. Like we've seen Dak with Romo, we've seen Romo with Bledsoe. You get what I mean? It's like a full ending circle right now.
A never-ending circle.
However, I'm gonna say this: Hurts also. Like, I mentioned it was like Josh Allen when they got Diggs. Yes, but he hasn't done like that many stat-wise for touchdowns. 4 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions. He's been doing a lot more on the ground than he has getting in the end zone than he has passing, which will come in due time. If you're the Eagles fan, you want to see it like progress earlier, but you know it's still good that they're getting in the end zone. They're 5-0 this season. I'm gonna take the actual Eagles. Now I'm doing this just to like combat my partner here, but I also do think that this league is all about offense this year. And if Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys can't score against the Eagles, you're just giving the Eagles more time on offense to figure out how to beat that defense. So if you're going to be Cooper rushing the Cowboys, you need to score here. You can't be like getting stopped on third downs. You can't be taking 3 and outs. You have to get down the field and you have to score against this Eagle defense. If you score against this Eagle defense and you let this defense rest, then you have an easier shot to beat the Eagles. But if you cannot do that, I think the Eagles run all over you.
Agreed.
An offense like this cannot be stopped until you need to find the key. I don't know. Maybe Dallas has the keys to the Eagles' offense. But until someone proves that they can stop the Eagles' offense, I'm not going to bet against the Eagles until someone actually has proved that they can stop them.
I fully agree with that.
So up next, we got Monday Night Football. We got the Broncos at the Chargers. Why are we watching the fucking Broncos again on fucking primetime? This team has given me the worst headache ever imaginable watching them on freaking primetime games. Nasty Nate.
Gotta love Nasty Nate.
Nasty Nate, Bum Hackett, whatever you want to call him, is the worst head coach in the NFL. Fire him. Matt Rule should have been fired, yes, but he shouldn't have been fired first. It should have been Hackett. That's how bad this fucking offense is. Real quickly, Russell Wilson, he can't cook with his offensive coordinator, and Hackett is giving him shit plays to work with. It's like you give a fucking fry cook a fucking piece of butter and put a fucking metal bar on there and be like, okay, here, cook this into a fucking burger. What? Oh my god. You go on. I'm not going to talk about this.
About what?
About the Chargers and Broncos.
Oh. Well, I have nothing nice to say about the Broncos except they're fucking man. I love how Russell Wilson has devolved. Has fucking Russell Wilson digivolved to fucking Geno Smith from the Jets, and he's just fucking trash, and it's just it's so sad to see for Russell Wilson. But this is another thing this is where I like to talk about system quarterbacks. I always felt like Russell Wilson out of Seattle, how special is he? Because it's not showing. Because honestly, in Pete Carroll's system, he played very well. But here in Nasty Nate's system, he doesn't. But then again, who plays well in Nasty Nate's system? Nobody.
Who the hell? Let me be honest here. What type of fucking system does Nasty Nate have? Hold on.
I don't know, dude.
Here's his fucking system right here. It's a napkin. It's a blank napkin. He tells them to put this on their regions. Just like, go back and forth a few times, and it'll work probably. Give me the fucking Chargers, even though their head coach is probably a freaking idiot as well too. And I have nothing nice to say about Brandon Staley. 4th and 1, you're up by 2 points, and you fucking go for it on your own end. You're on like the 45-yard line, and you go for it on your fucking end. What is wrong with you? I believe there was only like 2 minutes left in the game too. Just punt and let your defense do their job. You're lucky that you're facing the fucking Broncos and you're facing Nasty Nate, because if you weren't, I wouldn't be taking the Chargers right now, and I'd be dissing you for how bad of a head coach you are. Did you take your pick, by the way?
Yeah, I picked the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't blame you. The Chargers should easily beat the Broncos. But knowing this dumb NFL system, somehow Brandon Staley is going to let the fucking Nasty Nate Broncos beat them.
Right.
And we all know it to be true. Because Brandon Staley, the whole AFC West, besides the Kansas City Chiefs, have freaking ineptitude freaking head coaches. We got the Raiders with Josh McDaniels. Trash. Chargers, Brandon Staley. The analytic guys. Huh?
Trash.
I'll say he's more like he's more like a booger. He's not like trash yet, but like, okay. Brandon Staley would be the equivalent of a trash can. Freaking McDaniels will be the equivalent of a what's it called? A garbage truck. And then you have Nasty Nate, which is the equivalent of a junkyard. Is that a correct statement here, Powder?
I agree.
All right, we're both thinking the Chargers. Hope you all enjoyed this video here. I think we did some good predictions tonight, and we actually went through a lot of games here within an hour and 19 minutes. Actually, usually we take 2 hours of these videos, Powder, which is shocking.
I know, right? It's been a long day.
But bye week city now, so of course we're not going to take in 2 hours of games until probably later in the season. All right. Thank you for watching. The short video will be out Saturday like it always is. Hopefully you all get your predictions in. Thank you for watching this video. And any last words, Potter?
Go Bills.
Go Bills. We'll be out. Take care. Peace.